Hello and welcome to another SH Figuarts review. Today we've got the Iron Spider from Marvel's Infinity War. Yes, the movie's been out for a while, but I'll keep this video strictly spoilers free. As for the other figures, I did pre-order the new Iron Man from this movie, Thanos, Black Widow, and I look forward to being able to pre-order the Thor from this movie as well. Starting with the head, just like the Homecoming Figuarts, you can swap the eyes the same way. Just pull the head up, get the tool that comes with it, and poke the eyes out. And if you have the original one, the eyes can be swappable. I think the size is ever so slightly different, but they still work with each other. And personally, I do prefer the squinty eyes from the other one because it just looks more comical than this one here. The eyes on this figure are white finished because in the movie the eyes light up. There's lights on it. I get why they use white, but the silver does look nicer on the original figure. The whites here look just a little bit odd. I don't know what it is. Perhaps it's the creamy tone, the grayish tone, or that it bumps out a little bit too much. But overall it's okay, I'm just not too used to it just yet. Head sculpt is excellent, you got all the whole spider web pattern going on, that looks great. Moving down to the torso, the golden lining is pretty good. Mine paint is pretty consistent, got a little bit of dot there, that's annoying. But everything is sharp and detailed as it should be. Molding pattern and paint jobs don't go out of the way anywhere on this figure. So I don't know if I'm just lucky or the overall quality control is excellent on the other ones as well. Moving over to the arms, a little bit disappointing that we don't have a joint there, which hinders some of the articulation. But Spider-Man here can still move quite a lot with this extra joint on the upper shoulder to move his arms forward. On the back here, there's a little bit of a slit gap here for us to remove this back piece and place on the Iron Spider legs if we want to. Moving on to the hip joint, the Spider-Man's belt does look pretty excellent, and the joint here is cut up into 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 pieces on the lower hip, which for some of you might look terrible because there's too much cutting up on the suit, and yeah, a little bit from some angles, but due to the darker color of the blue, it's not too noticeable. And the reason why they've done that is it does really help with articulation, so you can do a lot of the iconic Spider-Man poses with his legs up and all that good stuff. And if you look at the back, he actually has separate butt articulation. Ooh, you move his butts up and down separately if you want to. That's weird. The upper leg molding and the pattern is excellent, just like the rest of the suit. And we go down to the boots, we still have the golden pattern going on there, and the feet joint look great as well. Bottom of the boots are blue, but there's no actual boot pattern on here. I feel like there should be some sort of pattern at the bottom of the shoe so it doesn't slip all over the place. Apart from the fists already attached to the figure, we also have a pair of web holding hands, a pair of call me hands, a pair of shooting web hands, and a pair of spray open hands. You also have the tool to poke out his eyes if you need to. That's your back piece here to help you attach him to stage acts, or have his backpack if you have the regular Homecoming figure. And we have a long web for him to hold, and a medium-sized web for him to shoot, and a short web for him to shoot as well. Finally, we have 3 pairs of eyes. You already saw the regular ones already attached to the figure. We have squinty eyes as well as half open and closed eyes, so you can do blinking animation if you want to do that. And finally, we of course have the Iron Spider legs. That piece was quite a pain to pull out. It was hurting my fingernails, that's how tight it was, which is great because it's secure, but not so great. Like, I wish the peg was just a little bit smoother to use, but that also means that when the Iron Spider legs are in, they peg in there quite snugly and quite tight as well, so don't need to worry too much about it falling or Spider-Man dropping off and all that. And pulling this out should be a little bit easier if you can grab hold of these spider legs, just wiggle it out, don't put too much force on it. You don't want to snap these joints, as you can see how small and thin this piece is. Definitely do not want to break that. Likewise, when you're putting this piece on, put your force, your strength onto the actual plastic piece and not the spider legs. I've been informed by some people that these legs might be a little bit fragile, so do be careful with them. But they seem quite secure. And of course, all of these have some articulation here at the base, so we can rotate them just a little bit, ever so slightly, but not too much. I've seen people sanding these down the joints a little bit so you can have full 360-degree movement, but I'm not too bothered with that. I'm quite happy with these just moving a little bit as they are, and it seems fine. See, these can actually come down quite a bit. And of course, there are extra articulation on the rest of these legs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 different bending joints on these legs. The coloring, however, is a little bit incorrect, and these are just purely gold on the figure. Should be blue lining here and there on these iron legs. But they are improved from what we saw when this figure was first revealed at the stage shows, where these arms were far thicker and look more chubby, as well as having even less detail. So I'm glad that these were improved, but they weren't quite improved all the way to how they should look like exactly in the movie. Speaking of things that aren't accurate to the movie, this is the Iron Spider suit. It's made out of mostly nanobots and metal and all that good stuff. So this should look more like Iron Man's suit. It should be shiny and reflective, and yet the only thing shiny here are the gold areas. So I've already seen a lot of people repainting the red and blues and making it look more like it does in the movie. This figure still looks great in its own right, but if you're looking for accuracy, that's definitely lacking here. And before I move on with the rest of this video, I just have to mention that a lot of other figures that come out recently seem to have been rushed and based on designs or concept art for Avengers Infinity War, where Bandai was just rushing out with these figures. Think about it, you got 2 Infinity War figures coming out every month for the next few months, and they're getting them out very quickly, and they didn't even see the trailers or what the movie looked like yet before production started on these figures. So while it's great that they did improve some of the accessories we have here, the problem is, if I'm going to list problems with the other ones, aside from the paint job here and the iron leg issues, Captain America does not have the Wakanda shield. Thanos' chest metal and details are missing. Iron Man is missing a lot of his extra gear, like the leg rockets and his sort of like weird attachments on his back. Those aren't there either. And the spear of Captain America looks ridiculously stupid, chubby, and nothing like what it does in the movie. So you're gonna expect a lot of these Infinity War figures are gonna have slight issues here, and perhaps even version 2.0 when the next Avengers movie comes out. So if you're not in a rush, you might want to for the next version. Oh, Bandai clip joints, really? I suppose it gets the job done, but aesthetically it's not quite Figuartsy. Feels like Hasbro. Marvel Legends quality. The instructions on this figure is pretty clear and simple and easy to follow, and also has the English language for the foreign market. Articulation wise, Spider-Man's head can go down, got a double neck joint, go far back, sideways, sideways, pretty good, and full rotation here. Double shoulder socket joint here, arm can go up, not too much, rotation here, and rotate back a bit, rotate forward a bit, plus the shoulder joint popping out. Double elbow joint there, hands on a peg and swivel, tummy goes up, tummy goes back, sideways, sideways. I don't see anybody saying that this joint here is snapping like the original one, but do still be careful with this joint, I wouldn't bend it too much. Leg can go up, sideways, rotation here, not full rotation, it does stop, knee joint, toe joint, tippy toes, foot can go up, back, oh quite far back, and kind of sideways, you're just going to get it in the right direction because it's double swivel joint. And of course all of these spider arms can have hinges on them and they can rotate just a little bit. In terms of molding, this figure is excellent. The details on the suit are great, and yes, some of it is a repeat from the Homecoming suit, but whatever, it gets the job done. The overpaint job is well detailed and sharp and not too much mess. And honestly, my figure is painted perfectly. I don't really see any out of line bits here and there anywhere. The only problem, of course, is that the paint is not accurate to its movie counterpart. It should be more metallic and more reflective, but we're not getting that here. Articulation is also great on this figure, or it does disrupt the suit design just ever so slightly. The joints are still hidden quite well, I'm quite happy with it. Despite some areas not having any articulation, the overall suit and movement and posability is excellent on this figure. Once again, it's just as good as the Homecoming suit. Accessory wise, it's also quite fulfilling. Overall, if you only want to pick up one Spider-Man suit from this Marvel Universe, Cinematic Universe, pick up the Homecoming suit. You got more iconic accessories from that figure, and plus the more iconic colors there. If you're a big Spider-Man fan, then this Iron Spider suit will definitely please you as well. But I am still thinking about the next iteration of these figures when Avengers 4 comes out, and Bandai will most likely want to cash in on that as well. So if you can wait, there will probably be another version of the Iron Spider. I'm not 100% sure about this, but I'm roughly 80% sure. So if you like the suit design now and definitely can't wait, this is still a good figure to pick up. It's not too expensive or outlandishly priced out there. And if you know a bit of paint, and if you have some basic paint skills, you can repaint this figure to make it look 100% accurate to its movie counterpart.